Okay, so you just got back from your physical exam with your primary care doctor. You got your lab work done. You looked it over. Everything looks perfect, except your fasting blood sugar is just a little bit high. Let's say 105, 110. And you go to your doctor and he says, or he or she says, like everything's looking good. Your blood sugar's a little bit on the higher end, but we'll keep an eye on it. And, some things that you could do are to decrease your carbohydrates. And overall, they give you, 2 thumbs up and you move on. And I feel like that's a pretty typical conversation with a provider, and maybe not all of them, and maybe not with it. Maybe it's unique with each person that they talk to, based on their tolerance. But I think the space that I want to live in here is to say that 105 is not okay, and I think that is the part that I really want to focus on and kind of send home. Is that 105 is a reflection that your body is sending you a warning sign. Your body is not metabolizing the glucose the way that it's supposed to. It's metabolizing in a way that's requiring more insulin. And so there's more insulin resistance in your body, which is the first step into chronic disease, metabolic syndrome, the diabetes, the hypertension, the inflammation, the obesity, the cancers, the Alzheimer's, etc. And so my hopes is that I could get people to go into their portal and look at their labs and be like, oh, my blood sugar actually was a little bit high, and then have this moment where you have this moment that's deep, that's heavy. It's a fork in the road. Like, I could either continue to do what I'm doing right now and the latter part of my years be littered with chronic disease like the rest of the country. Or you could say, you know what? My body's giving me a warning sign, and it's going to be a lot easier to fix this now and have a better quality of life later, and potentially even use those skills or those habits that you form to affect the people around you and to affect the kids, that are a part of your life too. And so today I just wanted to just reiterate a few things that I've talked about before, but let's just consolidate a few to give you a real life example of like, okay, I have a high blood sugar. What do I do, Cole? Let's talk about 4 things. Number 1, high protein in the morning. This is crucial, and it's an easy thing to do. There are researchers out there that say that, for a man, that you could have 1 gram per pound of protein in a day. So for a 200-pound man, you could have 200 grams of protein. That's a ton of protein. And just by that protein exposure, you're going to build muscle naturally. And you're going to have less desire for carbohydrates, and you're going to have less glucose spikes. And so you're going to eat less calories throughout the day, and you're going to be, less roller coasters. And by default, you're going to have a better blood sugar. Okay. Second thing is just to build muscle mass. And starting strength training, I think is really hard for people to like do long term. But if it's just like 25 air squats or 5 push-ups a day when you get up in the morning, just build, just start somewhere and do something. Number 3 is after you eat your food, your meals, train your body to go walk. 10 to 15 minutes. If you're at work and you have a 30-minute meal and you take the first 15, like go up a flight of stairs or something. Just move your body, because what's happening is that you're ingesting the blood sugar, you're ingesting glucose, your blood sugar is rising. And if you're moving your body, it's going to go right into your muscles instead of insulin coming in and increasing and requiring more and more insulin and creating that insulin resistance. Okay, last thing is sleep and stress. I'll bunch these two together. Sleep is huge. It should be the pinnacle. I mean, it should be the most important thing, is because if you don't get good sleep, it rises your cortisol levels, and you make poor decisions throughout the day, and it messes with your insulin sensitivity, and so you're more likely to push more insulin into your body. And the insulin is the hormone that, in excess, is really toxic. It's inflammatory for your body in the long-term stuff. So, and obviously stress is the same way. If you have a chronic stress in your body, mental stress or even physical stress, it increases the cortisol, it causes the insulin issues. And if there are some things in your life that you could like, you know what, I should probably stop doing this. Or if you have a stressful job, you're like, you know what, are there other options for me? Those what I have today. And I've talked about them before, but I wanted to paint this in a picture that you could actually have something a quantitative thing to be like, I'm going to go look at my portal. What was my blood sugar? And just kind of have that fork in the road moment, be like, where am I at? Or maybe your blood sugar is fine, but you realize your patterns are not, your daily habits are not. And you could kind of take this moment and be like, what could I fix so that I never get to that point? So a blood sugar greater than 100 is not good. Let's take a moment to reflect on that. You're at the fork. Which way are you going to go?